Welcome to Compact Biographies from compactbiographies.com, where we tell you interesting things about interesting people in smart bite-sized chunks. This is episode 229, Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald's voice remains one of the most instantly recognizable sounds in the history of music. Her effortless phrasing, purity of tone, and joyful improvisation made her the definitive interpreter of the Great American Songbook. But behind the glamour of sold-out concerts and glittering awards was a woman who fought her way from hardship to the very top of the entertainment world. Ella's life was a testament to resilience, artistry, and the healing power of music. Ella Jane Fitzgerald was born on the 25th of April, 1917 in Newport News, Virginia. Her childhood, however, mainly unfolded in Yonkers, New York, after her parents separated. Her mother, Tempe, worked long hours to provide for Ella and her younger half-sister, Frances. Life was not easy, money was scarce, and opportunities for young black girls were limited. Yet Ella found joy in music. She listened eagerly to the jazz musicians of Harlem and admired the daring rhythms of the new swing style. She also adored dancing and dreamed of a future on stage, imagining a life brighter than the one she knew. When her mother died unexpectedly in 1932, Ella's world was shaken. The loss sent her into a period of instability. She struggled at school and drifted into truancy. Eventually, she was taken into a reform school where conditions were harsh. At 14, her future seemed uncertain, and hope appeared dangerously distant. Everything shifted in 1934 when Ella stepped onto the stage of the Apollo Theatre in Harlem. It was amateur night, an event famous for both making and breaking dreams. She had planned to dance, but nerves and fear got the better of her. At the last moment, she chose to sing instead. Her voice thrilled the audience. Clear, warm, and full of promise, it earned her thunderous applause and the night's top prize. That performance changed her life. Suddenly, the girl who once felt lost had a path forward. A bandleader named Chick Webb soon discovered her and invited her to perform with his orchestra. She was just 17 when she began singing with one of the most respected big bands in the country. Though shy and lacking in confidence, she was determined to learn and improve. Music gave her purpose. With the Chick Webb Orchestra, Ella's talent flourished. What began as a teenage dream quickly became a professional career. She mastered swing timing and developed precise control over pitch and phrasing. Audiences were drawn to her bright stage presence and her genuine delight in performance. In 1938, she recorded a novelty song titled A Tisket, A Tasket, a playful reimagining of a children's rhyme. The song was a massive hit, selling over 1 million copies and staying on the charts for months. Suddenly, Ella Fitzgerald was a household name. When Chick Webb died the following year, the band renamed itself after her. Though she never felt entirely comfortable in the role of bandleader, the experience built her confidence and business sense. It also demonstrated her loyalty to those who had believed in her when she was unknown. By the mid-1940s, changes in the world of jazz reshaped Ella's career once again. Big bands were falling out of favour as bebop rose to prominence. Instead of resisting the change, Ella embraced it. Working alongside innovators like Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker, she developed her revolutionary approach to scat singing. Scat allowed her to use her voice as a musical instrument. She improvised lines of pure sound, soaring through melodies with thrilling speed and accuracy. Her creativity seemed boundless and her accuracy unmatched. Audiences were amazed not only by her agility, but by the joy she radiated while performing. This period solidified Ella Fitzgerald's status not just as a vocalist, but as an artist shaping music itself. In the 1950s, Ella entered what many consider the defining chapter of her career. She signed with Verve Records, led by producer Norman Granz, who believed wholeheartedly in her brilliance. Together, they launched a project that changed the history of recorded music, the Great American Songbook series. Across multiple albums, Ella performed the works of the most influential songwriters of the era, including George Gershwin, Cole Porter, Duke Ellington, Irving Berlin, Rodgers and Hart, and Harold Arlen. Her interpretations were not mere performances, they were definitive versions of the material. Ella's voice carried perfect intonation, warm humour, and a crystalline tone that brought new life to every lyric. Songs like Summertime, Cheek to Cheek, and They Can't Take That Away From Me became cornerstones of her catalogue and beloved classics of American culture. These recordings turned jazz singing into high art and left a legacy of beauty that continues to inspire musicians around the world. Ella Fitzgerald's fame grew, but her personal life remained largely private. She endured challenges that seldom surfaced in the spotlight. Her first marriage ended quickly, and her second, though longer, did not last. She also battled discrimination and barriers that were part of everyday life for Black artists in mid-20th century America. Yet she approached every setback with dignity and quiet strength. Those who knew her described a woman of humility, kindness, and a heartfelt love for her audience. She often referred to herself simply as lucky, though her success was the result of relentless dedication. Ella spent much of her life touring, sometimes performing over 200 shows a year. The road could be exhausting, but the stage was her home. She said more than once that singing was the only thing that made her truly happy. Ella earned 14 Grammy Awards during her lifetime, as well as the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest civilian honors in the United States. Her peers respected her not only for her skill, but for her grace. She stood as a symbol of excellence in music and a model of professionalism. Even as musical tastes changed in the 1960s and 1970s, she remained a beloved figure. She sang with orchestras and small jazz groups, collaborating with legends such as Louis Armstrong, Count Basie, and Oscar Peterson. Her duets with Armstrong in particular showcased a delightful contrast between her smooth clarity and his gravelly charm. Ella continued performing well into the 1980s. Though health problems eventually affected her ability to tour, her voice retained its warmth and control for far longer than most would have expected. Fans who heard her late performances often commented that she still sounded unmistakably like Ella. In her later years, Ella faced increasing medical challenges. Diabetes led to serious complications, and she underwent the amputation of both legs below the knee. Despite the pain and limitations, she continued to engage with the music world and stayed close to her family. Ella Fitzgerald died on the 15th of June 1996 at her home in Beverly Hills, surrounded by the garden she loved. The world mourned a giant whose influence had shaped modern music. From small jazz clubs to grand opera houses, her voice had touched millions. Ella Fitzgerald's legacy is one of joy and possibility. She proved that hardship does not decide destiny, and that talent nurtured by determination can transform a life. Her performances remain among the finest vocal recordings ever made, and her phrasing, timing, and emotional intelligence continue to educate singers and delight listeners. Her music is still everywhere, in films, on the radio, in classrooms, and in the playlists of those discovering jazz for the first time. Young artists learn from her example that elegance and playfulness can coexist, and that technique need not overshadow heart. Ella once said that the only thing better than singing was more singing. That spirit remains her greatest gift. Through every note preserved on record, she invites the world to join her in the simple celebration of being alive. Ella Fitzgerald rose from poverty to become one of the most accomplished and beloved figures in music history. Her artistry displayed not only technical perfection, but an abiding sense of wonder. She made her audiences feel seen, uplifted, and welcomed into a world where rhythm and melody communicate more deeply than words alone ever could. She taught us that joy is worth fighting for, and that beauty can emerge from even the darkest beginnings. The First Lady of Song did not merely entertain, she inspired. Her voice remains a reminder that, at its very best, music is a light that can guide us through anything. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Compact Biographies from compactbiographies.com. If you did, please consider leaving us a review wherever you get your podcasts, as it will help the show to grow. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.